She was 9 months pregnant, stranded on a snowy roadside, barely breathing. Cars passed. No one stopped. Until a barefoot black boy, no jacket, just a trash bag over his shoulders, ran toward her, risking frostbite to keep her conscious. She whispered, "Please, my baby." He didn't flinch. He carried her 2 miles through ice-covered streets to safety. What the millionaire husband did next? Unbelievable. But what the boy asked for? It shattered everyone in the hospital room, and changed their lives forever. The wind clawed at his skin like knives, but Malik didn't run. Not anymore. He was 12, cold, and completely alone. His mom had overdosed in a shelter in Camden 6 months ago. After that, the system forgot about him. No foster home would take him in once they learned he was a runner. So Malik ran, with nowhere to go. By winter, he'd memorized which alleys stayed dry when it rained and which diners would give him leftover pancakes. The 7-Eleven guy on Roosevelt Street would sometimes slide him an old hot dog if the manager wasn't looking. But on most nights, he slept behind an abandoned laundromat, tucking his hands under his arms and pretending he was back in his mom's arms, just one more time. That morning had started like any other: wake up hungry, ignore the pain in his chest, and walk. But that afternoon, everything changed. He was walking near 11th and Pine, kicking a crushed soda can, when he heard it, a woman screaming. Not loud, just weak, like someone running out of time. At first, he ignored it. Not his business. Nobody ever helped him. But then came a second sound. Not a scream, more like a cry. From deep inside. A cry his mother used to make when the pain was too much to bear. It froze him in place. And then he saw her. A woman, white, blonde, dressed like money, lay on the sidewalk next to a black Escalade. Her belly was huge. She was pregnant, very pregnant. Her hands trembled as she reached for the car door. No one stopped. People walked right past her, shielding their kids like she was contagious. Malik moved before he even realized it, crossed the street, bent down. She looked up, eyes glassy with fear. "Please, help, baby, coming." Her skin was pale. She was sweating. She looked like she hadn't eaten in days. Her phone was shattered near her hand. Malik hesitated. He didn't know what to do. Then, like a switch flipped in his chest, instinct kicked in. "Ma'am, I'll get help," he said, pulling off the garbage bag wrapped around his shoulders and tucking it under her head. "Just hold on, okay?" He looked around. Nothing but ice. His breath came in clouds. Cars didn't stop. No one cared. So he did the only thing he could think of: he picked her up. She was heavier than he expected, but he didn't care. His arms burned. His legs screamed. But he moved forward. 2 miles. Through snow. Slush. Freezing wind. He carried her 2 miles to the only place he knew had lights on 24/7, St. Monica's ER. The ER nurses nearly tackled him at the door. Malik stumbled through the entrance with the woman in his arms, screaming, "She's having a baby." They took her instantly. Rushed her onto a gurney. Tubes. Monitors. Chaos. Malik stood in the hallway, panting. Socks soaked. Toes blue. He tried to disappear into the corner. A nurse found him, looked at his purple fingers, and called for help. They sat him down, wrapped him in a blanket. Hot cocoa. Dry socks. Too much kindness. It made him nervous. People were only this nice when they wanted something. "What's your name, sweetheart?" the nurse asked. He hesitated. "Malik. Did you know her?" "No. She was just on the street." The nurse looked at him like she couldn't believe it. Like he had saved someone's life. "She's going to be okay, Malik. You did good. Real good." He didn't respond. He just sipped the cocoa and stared at the wall. An hour passed. Then a man came running through the doors like a storm. Expensive coat. Designer boots. His face was wrecked with panic. "Where is she?" "My wife, Claire." Malik watched him talk to the front desk, heard the words, induced labor, hypothermia, and cord wrapped around the neck. Then he saw the man's face when the nurse pointed to him. That boy brought her in. The millionaire turned around, eyes bloodshot, and walked straight toward Malik. "You carried her from the street?" Malik nodded. The man's lips trembled. "She would have died. The baby would have." He didn't finish. He just sank to his knees in front of a homeless kid with cracked lips and frostbitten ears, and hugged him like family. They let Malik stay the night. The nurse brought him warm food and a clean sweatshirt. For the first time in months, he slept in a bed. The next morning, Claire, alive and glowing, asked to meet him. He stepped into her room, awkward and quiet. She smiled, cradling a tiny baby girl in her arms. "She's breathing because of you," she whispered. "Do you want to hold her?" His hands shook. He nodded. The baby was warm. Tiny. She made a sound like a coo. Malik blinked fast, trying not to cry. Claire looked at her husband. "What's your name?" "Malik." The man stepped forward. "Malik, I'm Ethan. And I owe you everything. Anything. Tell me what you want. Anything. It's yours." Malik looked down at the baby, then up at Ethan. "Anything?" Ethan nodded, smiling. "Yes. A car? Money? A place to live?" Malik's lips parted. But what came out was none of those things. "I just want someone to check if my mom's grave ever got a headstone." Ethan blinked. Malik continued. "She died last year. No money for a stone. I want people to know she existed." Ethan couldn't speak. Claire was already crying. A millionaire offering the world, and the boy only asked for his mother to be remembered. Part 4, Headlines, Homes, and Hope. The story hit the news that afternoon. Homeless boy saves pregnant woman in blizzard. 12-year-old hero carries millionaire's wife to safety. What he asked for instead of money will break your heart. Donations poured in. Over $100,000 in 24 hours. Journalists camped outside the hospital. But Malik didn't care about that. He only asked Ethan one more thing. "Can I go see her?" So Ethan drove him. They went to the unmarked patch of frozen dirt where his mother was buried. Malik stood there in silence. Ethan held his shoulder. A week later, the stone was ready. Black marble. Elegant. Tamara Jean Cross. Beloved mother. Fierce survivor. Forever loved. 1981 to 2023. Malik traced the letters with his fingers. Ethan cleared his throat. "There's something else." He handed Malik a folder. Inside, adoption papers. Claire had signed them too. "We don't want to replace your mom, Malik," she said softly. "But if you'll have us, we'd love to be your family." Malik didn't say yes right away. He didn't trust people. He'd been promised things before. But Claire and Ethan didn't give up. They showed up. They let him feel angry. Let him cry. Let him be. He moved in slowly. First a week. Then 2. Then Christmas. One morning, Claire called him upstairs. She'd painted the nursery. Above the crib, in flowing letters, were 2 names. Amelia Rose Mitchell. Malik Cross Mitchell. She smiled. "You gave her life, Malik. So we thought she should share her last name with her hero." His throat clenched. He couldn't speak. That night, Ethan came into his room, sat beside him. "I thought I was a millionaire," he said. "Had the cars, the mansion, the business. But I didn't know wealth until you asked for a tombstone instead of a check." He looked at Malik. "You didn't just save Claire. You saved me." Malik didn't respond. He just hugged him, and didn't let go for a long, long time.